Royal Caribbean has built one of the most exciting and innovative fleets in the cruise industry, with ships ranging from smaller classic vessels to the record-breaking giants like Icon of the Seas, and now Star of the Seas, which has officially joined the lineup in 2025. With so many ships, 29 in total, it can be overwhelming to decide which one is right for your next vacation. That's why in today's video, I'm going to rank every single Royal Caribbean cruise ship, from the ones that may not be worth your time all the way up to the absolute best ships in the fleet. We'll cover what makes each ship stand out, where they usually sail from, the pros and cons you need to know, and why some ships might be perfect for one type of cruiser, but not for another. By the end, you'll have a full picture of how these ships stack up against each other, and maybe even a clearer idea of which ship you should book for your next adventure at sea. At number 29, I have the Grandeur of the Seas. Grandeur of the Seas lands at the bottom spot, largely because it struggles to compete with modern standards in 2025. While it has its nostalgic charm and a loyal following, the ship's older infrastructure, dated staterooms, and limited amenities make it feel behind the curve. Compared to newer vessels, Grandeur lacks advanced neighborhoods, vibrant water park attractions, and the breadth of specialty dining options that have become expected on larger ships. Many passengers report that public areas and entertainment venues feel small and less immersive, and during peak sailings, crowding becomes more noticeable. In short, Grandeur is a classic ship for classic cruising experiences, but when you're ranking 29 modern vessels side by side, it simply doesn't stack up in terms of scale, innovation, or wow factor. Enchantment of the Seas comes in near the very bottom of the list at number 28, largely because of her age, size, and limited amenities compared to the rest of the Royal Caribbean fleet. Built in the mid-1990s and only moderately updated since, she lacks many of the modern features cruisers have come to expect. There's no flowrider surf simulator, no big water slides, and no sprawling entertainment venues like the newer classes offer. While she does carry the Stretch Edition from 2005 that expanded her pool deck and added some space, the ship still feels dated and small at just over 80,000 gross tons. Enchantment mostly sails shorter itineraries out of Florida, which can be convenient for quick getaways, but the trade-off is fewer dining options, older cabins, and limited onboard activities compared to even her Vision-class sisters. For budget cruisers or those who simply want a quiet, smaller ship experience, Enchantment can still deliver a relaxing vacation. But in a fleet dominated by megaships like Oasis, Quantum, and Icon class, she just can't compete, leaving her close to the bottom of the rankings. Rhapsody of the Seas lands at 27th out of 29 in our Royal Caribbean ship ranking, primarily because, while it has charm and utility, it simply falls short in key areas by 2025 standards. As one of the smaller, older ships in the fleet, it lacks the scale, modern amenities, and headline features that newer ships bring. Limited specialty dining options, fewer entertainment venues, minimal neighborhood-like experiences, and less impressive water park or top-deck spectacles. Passenger feedback often cites that the ship feels dated, public spaces get crowded more easily, and certain refurbishments haven't fully modernized key areas like cabins or lounges. In short, it's functional and often more affordable, but compared to the fleet's giants and tech-forward vessels, Rhapsody can't keep up. Vision of the Seas comes in at number 26 because, while she has the charm of being one of Royal Caribbean's classic Vision-class ships, she simply can't compete with the amenities, size, and innovation found on the newer vessels in the fleet. Launched in the late 1990s, Vision is much smaller than most modern Royal ships, carrying just over 2,000 passengers, and that means fewer dining options, limited entertainment venues, and far less in the way of signature attractions like water slides, flow riders, or massive pool decks. The ship does still offer a more intimate, traditional cruising experience, which some travelers appreciate, especially on port-intensive itineraries. But for most cruisers seeking Royal Caribbean's signature thrills, Vision feels outdated. Compared to her larger and recently refurbished sisters, she ranks low because she simply doesn't deliver the wow factor that many associate with Royal Caribbean today. Voyager of the Seas lands in the 25th spot out of 29 in this ranking for a few reasons. While it used to represent cutting-edge innovation in its day, with features like the ice rink, rock climbing wall, and spacious promenades, over time newer classes have outpaced it in scale, amenities, and modern guest expectations. In 2025, Voyager trails behind in areas like specialty dining variety, immersive neighborhood design, and headline entertainment quality. Its public areas and cabins, though solidly maintained, feel more dated compared to Oasis, Icon, and even updated Quantum ships. Additionally, its deployment is often less ambitious, focusing on shorter or more common routes rather than exotic itineraries, and crowding on high-demand sailings can make the guest experience less smooth. However, Voyager still holds value for cruisers who prioritize mid-tier cost, reliable service, and a mid-size ship experience rather than ultra-premium bells and whistles. Explorer of the Seas comes in at number 24 because, while it was once considered a groundbreaking ship when it debuted in 2000, today it feels outdated compared to the rest of Royal Caribbean's lineup. As a Voyager-class ship, it does have some fun features like an ice skating rink, Flow Rider surf simulator, and Royal Promenade. But its age shows when stacked against newer ships. The design and amenities feel limited, especially when compared to the bigger and more modern Oasis or Quantum-class vessels. Dining options are fewer. The entertainment lacks the wow factor found on newer ships, and staterooms feel smaller and less refreshed. It's not a bad cruise ship, especially if you're after a more affordable Royal Caribbean experience, but compared to the rest of the fleet, Explorer of the Seas doesn't quite measure up in terms of innovation, variety, or overall excitement, which lands it near the bottom of the ranking. Radiance of the Seas lands at number 23 out of 29 in my 2025 Royal Caribbean ship ranking, because while she still offers a pleasant cruising experience, she doesn't keep pace with newer vessels when it comes to amenities, scale, or high-impact attractions. Her strengths lie in elegant design, expansive glass-forward views, and quieter, less crowded public spaces, which appeal to travelers seeking a more relaxed vibe. However, in comparison, Radiance lacks enough specialty dining options, water park features, immersive neighborhoods, and tech-forward entertainment that today's cruisers expect on top-tier ships. In an era when Royal Caribbean's newer Oasis and Icon-class vessels raise the bar, Radiance simply becomes overshadowed despite her charm. Brilliance of the Seas lands at 22nd out of 29 in my 2025 Royal Caribbean ship rankings because it embodies that tough middle ground. It's solid, reliable, and offers a pleasant cruise experience, but it doesn't wow in a fleet increasingly defined by bold amenities and tech. While it shares the Radiance class's strengths, like abundant windows, scenic design, and cozy atmosphere, it falls short against newer ships when it comes to headline attractions, neighborhood innovations, or expansive entertainment options. Its dining and lounge lineup is serviceable, but not as adventurous or abundant as what you see on Oasis or Icon class. Fans often praise the crew and the relaxed pace of life on board, yet many say the ship feels dated in cabins, lacks the dramatic top-deck features, and has fewer wow factor moments. In a year where the newest ships push boundaries, Brilliance ends up closer to the later half, solid for its price point, but not among the fleet's showstoppers. Serenade of the Seas lands at 21st out of 29 in our 2025 Royal Caribbean ranking, because while it offers a comfortable and pleasant cruise experience, it struggles to compete with the modern features, scale, and showmanship of newer classes. On the plus side, it delivers a relaxing, scenic atmosphere, with strong deployment choices for quieter itineraries and a solid refurbishment that brought refreshed dining and lounge spaces. However, its limitations are too significant to ignore. Fewer neighborhoods, limited water park and thrill amenities, smaller public areas, and aging cabin interiors make it feel dated compared to newer ships. The entertainment lineup and crew performance are generally reliable, but lack the marquee draws of Oasis, Icon, and Utopia-class vessels. In short, Serenade is a steady mid-fleet performer, adequate, safe, and often overlooked, but doesn't stand out in a lineup packed with showpieces and engineering marvels. Adventure of the Seas lands at number 20 because, while it's a fun and well-loved ship in the Voyager class, it's beginning to feel dated compared to many of Royal Caribbean's newer or recently amplified vessels. It does feature staples like the Flow Rider surf simulator, ice skating rink, mini golf, and water slides, which make it a strong choice for families who don't need the biggest and flashiest ship. However, its dining options and entertainment feel limited compared to the newer Oasis or Quantum-class ships, and it hasn't received as extensive of an upgrade as some of its sister ships. This leaves it in a middle ground. It's affordable and reliable for Caribbean sailings, but if you're looking for the latest and greatest Royal Caribbean innovations, Adventure doesn't quite deliver. That's why it ranks in the lower half of the fleet, though still offering a solid cruise for the right traveler. Jewel of the Seas comes in at number 19 on this list, and while it's a beautiful Radiance-class ship, it doesn't quite measure up to some of the newer and larger vessels in the fleet. Built in 2004, Jewel has a sleek design with floor-to-ceiling windows, giving passengers amazing ocean views, and it's well-loved for its more intimate feel compared to the megaships. However, at just over 90,000 gross tons, and carrying around 2,500 guests. It doesn't offer the same wide range of attractions, dining venues, or entertainment options that you'll find on the bigger ships like the Oasis or Quantum class. Jewel tends to cater more toward travelers who want a traditional cruise experience, with quieter atmospheres and more exotic itineraries, often sailing in Europe or the Caribbean. While it's a solid choice if you value scenery, relaxation, and classic cruising, the limited amenities and smaller scale put it a bit lower in the overall Royal Caribbean rankings. Freedom of the Seas lands at number 18 out of 29 in the Royal Caribbean fleet, because while it's a solid ship with plenty of great features, it doesn't quite compete with the newest, most innovative vessels. As one of the first ships to be amplified in Royal Caribbean's fleet update program, Freedom does have upgraded amenities like the perfect stormwater slides, Splashaway Bay for kids, and new dining venues such as Giovanni's and Azumi. However, compared to the larger Oasis and Quantum-class ships, Freedom feels a bit dated in terms of layout, entertainment variety, and cutting-edge technology. It's still a great choice for cruisers who want a balance of size and activities without feeling overwhelmed by the megaship atmosphere, but it lacks the wow factor and range of dining and entertainment options that push newer ships higher up the ranking. Ultimately, Freedom of the Seas is dependable and fun, but in a fleet with 29 ships, including newer icons like Wonder of the Seas and Star of the Seas, it naturally falls into the middle tier. Liberty of the Seas comes in at number 17 on this list because, while she's a solid Freedom-class ship with plenty of fun features, she's starting to feel her age compared to the newer, flashier vessels in Royal Caribbean's lineup. The ship does still offer highlights like the perfect storm water slides, the Flow Rider surf simulator, and family-friendly activities that make her a great choice for cruisers who want a mix of classic and modern. However, Liberty doesn't have all the bells and whistles found on the Oasis, Quantum, or Icon-class ships, which knocks her down in the rankings. She's most often sailing out of Texas, which is convenient for many U.S. cruisers, but the itineraries tend to be a bit more limited. Overall, Liberty of the Seas is a reliable and enjoyable ship that delivers the Royal Caribbean experience. But when compared against the innovation, dining variety, and entertainment options on the newer ships, she lands firmly in the middle of the pack. Navigator of the Seas takes the middle spot in this ranking because it strikes a solid balance between size, amenities, and value, but doesn't quite measure up to the larger and newer ships in Royal Caribbean's lineup. After her $115 million amplification in 2019, Navigator received some impressive upgrades, like the Blaster, the longest water slide at sea, and the Riptide, the only head-first mat racer on a Royal Caribbean ship, making her a fantastic choice for families and thrill seekers. The ship also features updated dining options such as Playmakers, Sports Bar, and Arcade, and Hooked Seafood, adding more variety than many older Voyager-class ships. However, despite these improvements, Navigator still falls behind the larger Oasis and Quantum-class ships, which offer even more dining, entertainment, and modern stateroom choices. Navigator also tends to sail shorter itineraries, often 3- and 4-night cruises out of Miami or Los Angeles, which can make the experience feel less immersive compared to the longer voyages offered on bigger ships. Overall, Navigator is a fun and refreshed ship that delivers great value and entertainment. But when stacked up against Royal Caribbean's newest and most innovative vessels, it settles into the mid-tier of the fleet at 16th place. Mariner of the Seas lands right in the middle of the pack at number 15 because it represents that sweet spot between classic Royal Caribbean cruising and more modern experiences. As a Voyager-class ship, it's large enough to feature plenty of Royal Caribbean staples, like the Flow Rider surf simulator, an ice skating rink, and even the Skypad trampoline experience, while still being smaller and easier to navigate than the megaships. It often sails shorter 3- to 5-night itineraries out of Florida, which makes it perfect for first-time cruisers or those just looking for a quick getaway. The downside, though, is that compared to the larger Oasis and Quantum-class ships, Mariner doesn't offer the same scale of entertainment, dining options, or cutting-edge attractions. It's a great value and a fun ship, but it doesn't have the wow factor I keep talking about of Royal Caribbean's newest vessels, which keeps it from climbing higher on the list. Independence of the Seas earns its spot right in the middle of the fleet at number 14, because it strikes a balance between offering plenty of fun features without quite measuring up to the innovation of the newer ships. As a Freedom-class ship, it still delivers a strong lineup of activities like the Flow Rider surf simulator, a solid pool deck, and Royal Caribbean's signature entertainment. But it doesn't have the jaw-dropping wow factor of the Oasis, Quantum, or Icon-class vessels. Independence has gone through renovations that added things like water slides and updated dining venues, which definitely keep it competitive, but its size and design feel more traditional compared to Royal's cutting-edge megaships. It's an excellent choice for cruisers who want a big ship experience without the overwhelming crowds of the very largest vessels. But when stacked against ships with more dining variety, neighborhoods, and modern amenities, Independence settles comfortably in the middle of the pack. Oasis of the Seas lands at 13th out of 29 in our 2025 Royal Caribbean ship rankings because it occupies a compelling middle ground. It delivers many of the signature Oasis-class amenities, sprawling neighborhoods, aqua theater, multiple dining venues, and bustling energy, while being somewhat overshadowed by newer or more upgraded sisters. Its strengths lie in reliable guest experience, broad route coverage, and its capacity to still impress crowd sizes. However, it loses points versus top-tier ships because of aging interiors, occasional capacity strains on peak sailings, and lack of the most cutting-edge features introduced in Icon class and Utopia. In short, Oasis remains a strong, versatile ship that offers many of the wow elements cruisers want. But by 2025, it no longer leads the pack, making it a solid, dependable option right in the middle of the fleet. Allure of the Seas earns the 12th spot out of 29 in this Royal Caribbean ship ranking because it strikes a solid balance between the grandeur of Oasis-class features and still feeling manageable for guests who don't want the full scale of the newest megaships. As an older Oasis vessel, Allure offers core neighborhood staples, Central Park, Boardwalk, the Aqua Theater, multiple dining and entertainment options, yet it lacks some of the more recent upgrades and refinements seen on its younger sisters. For example, enhanced suite neighborhoods, the newest water park expansions, or latest tech integrations. It sometimes feels slightly dated in finishes or has older edge systems like elevators or public spaces, but its layout still flows well, staff and crew remain strong, and it often sails in sought-after itineraries. For many cruisers, Allure delivers much of the wow for less, which places it comfortably above older, less equipped ships, but not quite among the top modern flagships that push every envelope in 2025. Anthem of the Seas earns the 11th spot out of 29 in this ranking because it strikes a rare balance between cutting-edge features and dependable performance. As part of the Quantum class, Anthem brings strong attractions like the North Star glass capsule, bumper cars, skydiving simulator, ripcord, and the 270 multimedia show space, all of which still compete favorably in 2025. Its entertainment lineup is polished, and its layout handles mid-size crowds better than many older ships. However, it falls short of the top tier because it lacks the sheer scale, neighborhood diversity, and next-gen amenities of the Icon and Oasis classes. Some guests report that on peak sailings, certain venues become crowded, and the food diversity, while very good, is not as expansive as on Oasis or Icon. Still, for passengers who want high-tech thrills without total overwhelm, Anthem sits in a comfortably solid spot near the top half of the fleet. Harmony of the Seas earns the number 10 spot because it represents the perfect balance of Royal Caribbean's big ship innovation and a slightly more manageable size compared to the newer giants like Icon or Wonder. As the third Oasis-class ship, Harmony brought major enhancements such as the Ultimate Abyss slide, upgraded entertainment, and a wide variety of specialty dining options that still feel modern in 2025. While she's not as cutting-edge as her younger sisters, Harmony continues to deliver an incredible experience with neighborhoods like Central Park and the Boardwalk, along with Broadway-caliber shows. What keeps her out of the very top tier is that some of her newer siblings, like Wonder, Utopia, and Star of the Seas, have taken the Oasis-class concept even further with expanded dining, technology upgrades, and next-level water parks. Still, Harmony remains a fan favorite for cruisers who want the thrills and variety of the Oasis class without needing to be on the absolute biggest and busiest ships in the fleet. Odyssey of the Seas occupies a strong 9th place because it delivers a compelling blend of innovation, entertainment, and guest comfort without the drawbacks of larger, more congested ships. As a Quantum Ultra-class vessel, it boasts high-tech features like the Skywalk, the single-day neighborhood transitions, and impressively configured public spaces that feel fresh and modern. Its seaplex and indoor forward venues offer versatility in any weather, and its newer decor and layout improvements distinguish it from older Quantum siblings. However, Odyssey doesn't quite match the sheer scale, multiple neighborhoods, or headline water park complexity of Oasis or Icon-class ships. There are some trade-offs: fewer shore excursions relative to the megaships, slightly more crowding in peak season due to popular attractions, and its itinerary flexibility is narrower than some long-running Oasis ships. Still, among the fleet's 29, Odyssey's balance of tech, design, and experience firmly place it in the top third. worthy of being called one of Royal's most modern and enjoyable ships in 2025. Symphony of the Seas secures the number 8 spot because it represents the very best of the Oasis class design, while still holding onto a slightly older feel compared to the newest ships like Wonder of the Seas and the brand new Icon and Star of the Seas. Launched in 2018, Symphony was once the largest cruise ship in the world and still impresses with its unmatched variety. 7 distinct neighborhoods, the ultimate abyss slide, the aqua theater, and countless specialty dining options. It's an absolute dream for families and adventure seekers. But when stacked against newer ships in the fleet, Symphony just misses the very top because it lacks some of the cutting-edge innovations and updated venues found on Royal Caribbean's most recent builds. Still, Symphony offers a nearly perfect balance of size, amenities, and atmosphere, earning it a strong placement in the top 10. Quantum of the Seas earns its place at 7th out of 29 in a full Royal Caribbean ranking because it perfectly balances modern innovation with regional exclusivity. As the first ship in the Quantum class, it set the standard for many of the cruise line's most cutting-edge features, like the North Star observation capsule, Ripcord by iFly skydiving simulator, and the transformative 270 entertainment venue. While not as large or flashy as the Oasis or Icon-class ships, Quantum still delivers an incredible variety of dining, entertainment, and activities that make it feel like a world-class resort at sea. What really makes it stand out, though, is its deployment in Asia, where it was designed to cater to international travelers with menus, entertainment, and itineraries that feel unique compared to the rest of the fleet. That global focus gives Quantum of the Seas a distinctive identity while still providing the innovation and excitement Royal Caribbean is known for, earning it a well-deserved top 10 spot, but not quite the very top, because newer classes like Oasis and Icon have since surpassed it in scale and overall wow factor. Wonder of the Seas comes in at number 6 out of all 29 Royal Caribbean ships because it strikes an incredible balance between size, innovation, and overall experience without quite reaching the same groundbreaking level as Icon-class vessels. As the 5th Oasis-class ship, Wonder offers the full Royal Caribbean megaship experience. Central Park, the boardwalk, multiple neighborhoods, aqua theater shows, and some of the best dining options at sea. It's also newer than many of its Oasis-class sisters, meaning it benefits from design refinements like expanded pool decks and updated venues. However, while it's jaw-dropping and perfect for families or anyone who loves non-stop entertainment, it doesn't quite surpass the newest innovations of Icon of the Seas or Star of the Seas, which push the cruise experience into an entirely new era. That's why Wonder remains a top-tier option, ranking high at number 6, but not quite cracking the top 5. Spectrum of the Seas earns its spot at number 5 out of 29 in the Royal Caribbean fleet because it blends cutting-edge innovation with a unique cultural touch, making it stand out among even the newest ships. Built specifically for the Asian market, Spectrum introduced features not seen on any other Quantum-class ship, like the exclusive Golden and Silver Suite Enclave, which is essentially a private ship-within-a-ship concept, complete with its own restaurant, lounge, and sun deck. On board, guests enjoy signature Royal Caribbean favorites like the North Star observation capsule, Ripcord by iFly skydiving simulator, and bumper cars at the Seaplex, but with menus, entertainment, and design elements tailored for international travelers. The ship is also one of the most technologically advanced, offering high-speed internet through Starlink and RFID wristbands for seamless onboard payments and cabin access. While not as massive as the Oasis or Icon-class ships, Spectrum manages to feel luxurious, modern, and full of options, all while catering to diverse cultural tastes. Its strong mix of exclusivity, family fun, and innovation is what places it so high in the ranking, proof that Royal Caribbean can deliver an extraordinary experience beyond its largest vessels. Ovation of the Seas ranks 4th out of 29 in the Royal Caribbean fleet because it hits the sweet spot between innovation, luxury, and accessibility. It offers nearly all the bleeding-edge features of the newer Quantum/Ultra class: stunning forward glass-domed lounges, high-quality entertainment, and smart modern design, without the overwhelming scale or price tag of an Oasis or Icon-class ship. Passenger reviews consistently highlight her smooth service, superior stateroom comfort, and a balance of crowd energy and relaxed atmosphere. Even on busy days, Ovation maintains decent flow and guest distribution thanks to smart architectural layouts. While it lacks a few of the latest and greatest features that ships like Star or Icon bring for its combination of amenities, refinement, and overall experience, Ovation offers one of the best all-around Royal Caribbean experiences in 2025. Utopia of the Seas earns the number 3 slot in a fleet of 29 because it skillfully combines scale, innovation, and refinement in ways its older sisters simply can't match. As the newest Oasis-class ship, it inherits the legendary neighborhood layout: Central Park, Boardwalk, the Royal Promenade, but with modern upgrades, sleeker public spaces, more suite-centric amenities, and improved flow so it never feels overwhelming. Its enhancements to family areas, upgraded dining venues, and sharper tech integration make it a favorite for those who want the mega ship experience without sacrificing luxury or service. Plus, its newer hardware means fewer teething problems and more polished launches. So, in 2025, it stands confidently among the top Royal Caribbean experiences. Icon of the Seas earns the number 2 spot in the Royal Caribbean fleet because it redefines what a modern cruise ship can be without completely eclipsing the classic balance of size, variety, and accessibility. As the largest cruise ship in the world, Icon is a floating city that offers something for everyone: massive water parks, record-breaking slides, diverse neighborhoods, and endless dining options. It was built with families and thrill-seekers in mind, making it the ultimate vacation resort at sea. The ship also introduces Royal Caribbean's most ambitious sustainability features to date, running on liquefied natural gas and incorporating advanced systems to reduce its environmental footprint. However, what keeps Icon of the Seas from taking the very top spot is that it's not always the best match for every cruiser. Its sheer size can feel overwhelming, and the cost to sail on her is significantly higher compared to the rest of the fleet, making it less budget-friendly. Still, for those looking for the biggest, newest, and most jaw-dropping ship experience in 2025, Icon more than delivers, which secures its place as number 2 out of 29. Star of the Seas earns the number 1 spot among 29 Royal Caribbean ships because it represents the culmination of everything the brand has refined over decades. Debuting in 2025, it carries forward the best elements of Icon of the Seas: advanced neighborhoods, immersive entertainment, and water park innovations, but with early refinements, operational optimizations, and updated guest feedback corrections baked in. Its itinerary deployments, modern infrastructure, and crew training from day one give it a polish older ships can't match. For cruisers seeking the next-level experience in scale, features, comfort, and wow factor, Star stands alone at the top of the fleet in 2025, earning its place not by nostalgia, but by being the freshest, most forward-looking vessel in the Royal Caribbean family. And there you have it, the full ranking of all 29 Royal Caribbean ships, from the oldest classics to the cutting-edge giants like Star of the Seas. No matter where your favorite landed on this list, the truth is that every ship offers something special, and the best cruise for you really depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. Whether you prefer the laid-back charm of the smaller ships, the adventurous vibe of the mid-size fleet, or the all-in-one floating resort style of the Icon class, Royal Caribbean has something for every kind of traveler. If you enjoyed this ranking, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Let me know which Royal Caribbean ship is your favorite, or which one you're most excited to try next. Your feedback might even shape how I put together the next ranking video. Thanks so much for watching, safe travels, and until next time, I'll see you on board.